the vast expanse of the Mongolian plateau, a land dominated by rolling steppes and the laws of nature. It's here, in this rugged wilderness, that the story of Genghis Khan begins. Born in the heart of this unforgiving terrain in 1162, to the Borjigin clan, Temujin, as he was originally named, entered a world where survival wasn't a right, but a constant battle. The Mongols were a patchwork of nomadic tribes, often at odds with each other, each trying to carve a life from the harsh steppe. Temujin's early years were shaped by the wisdom of his father, Yesugei, a respected tribal leader. Yesugei's teachings were rooted in the traditions of the Mongol way of life, the importance of honor, kinship, and the eternal bond between a Mongol and his horse. But the lessons of youth weren't to last. Fate had decreed a harder path for young Temujin. When he was merely 9, a treacherous act by the rival Tatars robbed him of his father.
The death of Yesugei was a turning point in Temujin's life. The tragedy thrust him into the harsh realities of tribal politics and the fragility of power.
In the aftermath of Yesugei's death, the tribe abandoned Temujin's family, leaving them vulnerable to the elements and rival tribes. These years of adversity, however, were the crucible in which the future Khan's character was forged. The steppe taught him resilience. His family taught him the value of loyalty.
It's during these formative years that Temujin's leadership qualities began to shine. His ability to strategize, to rally those around him, and his innate sense of justice were becoming evident.
By his teenage years, Temujin, though faced with hardships, was not to be subdued. He made alliances, one of the earliest and most significant being with Jamuka, who would become both a blood brother and later a rival. Together they navigated the treacherous landscape of Mongol politics, forming and breaking alliances, always with an eye on the larger picture, the dream of uniting the warring Mongol tribes. As the sun set on Temujin's early years, the horizon was filled with challenges, but also the promise of greatness. The boy who once roamed the steppes, battling adversity, was on his way to becoming Genghis Khan, the unparalleled leader of the Mongols. From the disparate tribes and vast emptiness of the Mongolian plateau, a dream was taking shape, a dream of unity and strength. As Temujin stepped into adulthood, he was set on a path not just of personal ambition, but of destiny. The Mongolian political landscape of the 12th century was a complex web of alliances, rivalries, and constantly shifting loyalties. To navigate this treacherous terrain, Temujin had to be both a warrior and a diplomat.
What's remarkable about Temujin's rise isn't just his military prowess, but his ability to see beyond the immediate. He recognized the potential of a united Mongol nation, transcending tribal affiliations.
But unification wasn't easy. One of Temujin's earliest challenges came from within, from his erstwhile blood brother Jamuka. Ideological differences set them apart. While Temujin believed in meritocracy, promoting warriors based on their skills and loyalty, Jamuka adhered to the Mongol aristocracy, favoring the nobility. This ideological divide led to a civil war among the Mongol tribes.
The conflict between Temujin and Jamuka was more than just a personal feud. It was a clash of ideologies, a fight for the soul of the Mongol nation.
Years of conflict culminated in the pivotal Battle of Dalan Baljut in 1190. Temujin, with his strategic genius and the loyalty of his warriors, emerged victorious. Defeating Jamuka was a testament to Temujin's vision. Rather than exacting revenge, he integrated the defeated tribes, further expanding his base of power.
This was one of the defining characteristics of Genghis Khan's leadership. He didn't just conquer, he assimilated, ensuring that those he defeated became part of his vision for a greater Mongol empire.
With his primary rivals subdued and an ever-growing coalition of tribes behind him, Temujin's dream was closer than ever. In 1206, a Grand Kurultai, a political and military council, was convened. Here, leaders from all the Mongol tribes gathered. In recognition of his leadership, his vision, and his military achievements, Temujin was bestowed with a title that would resonate through history: Genghis Khan, the universal ruler. From the adversities of his early life to the peak of Mongol leadership, Genghis Khan's ascent was nothing short of meteoric. But this was just the beginning. Ahead lay vast territories, awaiting the touch of the Mongol storm. With the Mongol tribes united under one banner, the world now lay at the feet of Genghis Khan. But for this visionary leader, the heartland of Mongolia was just the beginning. Rapid mobility, unmatched discipline, and revolutionary military strategies were the hallmarks of the Mongol army. It was an unstoppable force that would reshape the world map.
Genghis Khan's campaigns weren't mere territorial conquests. They were a blend of military strategy, diplomatic maneuvering, and an immense appetite for expansion.
The first major campaign took the Mongols to the Xixia and Jin dynasties in the east. While these formidable kingdoms boasted of grand cities and large armies, they were no match for the Mongol onslaught. City after city, fortress after fortress, they fell. And with each victory, Genghis Khan's tactics evolved, assimilating the strengths of those he conquered. But Genghis Khan's vision was not just military. He saw the potential of the Silk Road, the ancient trade route, and sought to control it, ushering in an era of unprecedented trade and cultural exchange.
By securing the Silk Road, Genghis Khan didn't just enhance the wealth of the Mongol Empire. He facilitated a cross-cultural exchange that would influence societies from Europe to China.
The Mongol tide then turned westward. The Khwarezm Empire, a jewel of Central Asia and Persia, stood in its path. An initial desire for trade turned to conflict after a diplomatic mission ended in disaster. The Khwarezmian Shah made a grave error in underestimating Genghis Khan. What followed was not just a military campaign, but a lesson in Mongol retribution. The cities of Bukhara, Samarkand, and countless others felt the might of the Mongol horde. Within just a couple of years, the Khwarezm Empire was all but erased from the map. Yet, amidst these conquests, Genghis Khan was not just a destroyer. He was also a builder, a lawgiver. The Yasa, the Mongol code of law, laid the foundation for governance across the vast empire.
Many see Genghis Khan as a mere conqueror, but his genius lay in governance. The Mongol Empire at its height was a beacon of administration, trade, and even religious tolerance.
From the steppes of Mongolia to the gates of Europe, from the deserts of Persia to the heart of China, Genghis Khan's empire was a testament to one man's indomitable will and vision. But empires, as vast as they may be, also sow the seeds of their own challenges. The Mongol Empire, now the largest contiguous land empire in history, was a marvel of its age. But within its vast boundaries, a cauldron of cultures, religions, and ambitions simmered. With diversity came challenges. Local rulers, once kings and sultans of their domains, were now vassals to the Mongol throne. As the empire grew, so did the intricacies of governance.
Genghis Khan's challenge was unique. It wasn't just about ruling vast lands, but seamlessly integrating multiple civilizations, each with its own history, pride, and sense of identity.
The Mongol leadership was astute. They recognized that to maintain the vast empire, direct Mongol rule everywhere was neither feasible nor desirable. Instead, they adopted a system of governance that was both centralized and decentralized. In many regions, local leaders were retained in their positions, provided they pledged allegiance to the Khan and ensured regular tributes. This semi-autonomous structure facilitated administration and reduced friction. Yet, not all was peaceful. The sheer size and diversity of the empire meant revolts and rebellions were inevitable. Some regions yearned for their past glory and independence.
Genghis Khan was no stranger to rebellion. but he approached it with a blend of stern retribution and, often surprisingly, diplomacy. His primary aim? Stability.
Economic prosperity was central to the empire's stability. Genghis Khan and his successors poured resources into the Silk Road, transforming it into the primary artery of trade, ideas, and innovation. Legally, the empire was a mosaic. The Yasa, the Mongol legal code, was foundational, but regional laws were often accommodated, creating a legal patchwork that catered to the empire's myriad subjects.
The Mongols were pragmatic rulers. They realized that to govern diverse peoples, you needed flexible laws. Their genius was in balancing Mongol traditions with regional sensitivities.
Genghis Khan's empire was not without its challenges, but under his leadership and the Khans that followed, it remained a beacon of administrative ingenuity, relative tolerance, and prosperity. But as with all great tales, an end looms. And for the Mongol Empire, the sun would eventually set, but not before leaving an indelible mark on history. The sands of time often erode memories of great empires and mighty rulers. Yet, some leave behind legacies that transcend time. Genghis Khan and the Mongol Empire are undeniably among them. The tendrils of the Mongol legacy reach deep into the soil of world history, touching everything from culture and trade to diplomacy and warfare.
To speak of Genghis Khan is to speak of a world that was reshaped geographically, politically, and culturally. The Mongol Empire wasn't just a phase in history, it was a catalyst.
In the lands the Mongols conquered, their influence is evident even today. Architectural marvels, linguistic traces, and cultural norms, many bear the indelible imprint of the Mongol epic. Trade, a vital aspect of the Mongol Empire, flourished along the Silk Road, forging connections between the East and West. These trade routes, in many ways, were precursors to the globalized world we inhabit today.
Under the Mongols, the world became more interconnected. Ideas, goods, technologies, and even religions traversed continents. It was globalization in its embryonic form.
In the annals of history, few figures spark as much debate as Genghis Khan. Was he merely a conqueror, a bringer of destruction? Or was he a visionary leader, a statesman, and an architect of a new world order? His methods were undoubtedly fierce, but his vision was clear. He sought not just to conquer, but to connect, to weave a tapestry of cultures and kingdoms into a united world.
Genghis Khan's legacy is multifaceted. It's about military genius, yes, but it's also about governance, cultural exchange, and the emergence of a global consciousness.
From the vast steppes of Mongolia, a leader arose who would shape the destiny of the world. Genghis Khan's empire may have waned, but his legacy endures. In the heartbeat of the modern world, in the rhythm of our global connections, echoes the spirit of an empire and its indomitable leader.